For today's lesson, we will be discussing about coordinates in proof. So we will be applying some of the concepts that we've learned on the previous videos in order for us to prove some statements. So it's important that we know how to get the distance between any 2 points. You should know how to get the midpoint, and also you should know how to place figures in the coordinate plane. So let's say we need to prove that the diagonals of isosceles trapezoid are congruent. So what we know only is that ABCD, this trapezoid ABCD, is an isosceles trapezoid. So if it's an isosceles trapezoid, that means AB, segment AB, is congruent with segment BC. Now we have to prove that segment BD is congruent with segment AC, which are its diagonals. So first thing that you have to do is place the trapezoid in the coordinate plane as what is shown here. Now we have to prove that these two segments, segment BD and segment AC, are congruent, which are the diagonals of the given trapezoid. As what we know with congruent segments, the segments are congruent if they just have the same measurement or length. All we have to do here is to solve for the length of the two segments and then see if they are equal. So we will be applying here the distance formula. But before we can use it, of course, we need to have the coordinates of the following points. Let's say the coordinates of B is A0. Then for C, let's say it's negative A0. For A, let's set this as BC. And for D, this one is negative BC. So we will be using these coordinates, and then we will solve the distance between the points so that we can get the length of segment BD and segment AC. So let's start with segment BD. So we will be getting the distance between point B and point D. So we will be using the distance formula. So B is my first point and D is my second point. So x sub 2 minus x sub 1. So negative B minus A, then squared, plus, then y sub 2 minus y sub 1. So C minus 0, then squared. So simplify this. You have negative B minus A, then squared, plus C squared. Or if we will arrange this first term, so we have now PD equals, let's write A as the first term. So negative A minus B squared plus C squared. So we now have PD. So now let's solve for AC. A is my first point and C is my second point. So x sub 2 minus x sub 1, then squared, plus, then y sub 2, which is 0 minus y sub 1, which is C. Then this is equal now to negative A minus B squared plus the negative C squared, or AC is equal to square root of negative A minus B then squared plus C squared. So if you will notice, AC and BD have the same measurement, or they just have the same length, which is square root of negative A minus B squared plus C squared. So if they have the same measurement or length, that means they are congruent. And from that, we can say that the diagonals of isosceles trapezoid are congruent. So this is how you use coordinate plane in proving statements. So that's it for today. I hope you learned something and see you next time.